Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. Bring in first movie of What If Peter was the son of King Trident, the beginning arc. Link down description of the fanfiction of this What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this is not a scam. In this alternate reality known as Earth H 2010, but here at a list of series for this What If. Fantastic Four, World's Greatest Heroes. Wolverine and X-Men. Avengers Assemble. The Loin Guard. The Little Mermaid. SpongeBob SquarePants. Tropical Rouge. Precure. H.O. Mermaid Adventures. Justice League Action. Teen Titans 2003. Prologue. The Origins of Atlantean Spider. Somewhere in the deep ocean water part of the Atlantic Ocean, deep within the ocean was a city known as Atlantica and Atlantis, to mighty kingdoms of the ocean. At Kingdom of Atlantica, the throne of inside of the kingdom of the throne of King Trident was happy. Hearing a baby's cry. However, his children were 7 girls and the crying was actually the newborn of a boy, the first boy. King Trident was going to the birthing chamber of where the newborn male was crying. King Trident, softly, what a joyous day it is. A new prince has come to join our family. As he entered the chamber, he found Queen Athena cradling their newborn son, the first male heir to the throne of Atlantica. The sight of his wife holding their baby filled Trident with a mix of pride and love. Queen Athena, smiling, here he is, my love. Our son, Peter Seastar. King Trident approached, his large, powerful hands reaching out to gently take the baby from Athena. As he held Peter close, the newborn's bright blue eyes sparkled with curiosity, and Trident felt an overwhelming sense of hope for the future. King Trident, beaming, he is perfect. Just look at those eyes. He will be a great ruler one day. As the family celebrated the arrival of their son, Trident's 7 daughters swam into the chamber, their excitement palpable. Ariel, the adventurous and spirited youngest, was the first to speak. Ariel, giggling, can I hold him, father? King Trident smiled, handing Peter over to Ariel, who cradled her little brother with utmost care. Ariel, cooing, he's so cute. What should we name him? King Trident, thoughtfully, we shall name him Peter Seastar. A name that represents our family and the vast ocean that surrounds us. As the days went by, it was the year 2025. For Peter Seastar was at the age of 4, was able to swim, and luckily he was able to learn how to defend himself against many predators such as sharks, piranhas and other ocean predators. One particular day, Peter Seastar swimming on the ocean. Admiring freedom swimming in the cold ocean floor. However, he looked up thinking about what it would feel like to go see what the surface is like. However, his father was kind of strict about the rules not to get humans involved or any surface problems. However, his sister Ariel, who she was kind to him, was always been there, unlike the other sisters that always liked to tease him and play pranks in him. Peter Seastar wasn't born with a mermaid tail but legs, and had the ability for him to swim quicker in the ocean. Peter Seastar, to himself, please, I'm trying my best and understand why my other sisters always keep on teasing me and pulling pranks on me. Just because I'm different, cause that it's. Despite the teasing from his sisters, Peter Seastar often found solace in the endless wonders of the ocean. He would explore coral reefs, chase after schools of colorful fish, and even discover hidden caves filled with sparkling treasures. Yet, the nagging curiosity about the world above the waves persisted. The sea surface glimmered under the sun, and he often imagined what life might be like for the humans he had only heard about in tales told by his father, King Trident. One bright morning, while the sun filtered through the water, casting a warm glow, Peter decided to take a chance. He swam toward the surface, his heart pounding with excitement and a touch of fear. As he broke through the waves, the sunlight blinded him momentarily. When his vision cleared, he gasped at the sight before him. The vast expanse of the sky was dotted with fluffy white clouds, and the sound of seagulls filled the air. Peter felt an exhilarating sense of freedom as he floated on the surface. Peter Seastar, whispering in awe, this is incredible. As he admired the beauty above, he noticed a small boat drifting nearby. Curiosity got the better of him, and he swam closer to get a better look. On board were 2 fishermen, chatting and laughing, unaware of the young prince watching them from below. However, unknowns to him, must-see crab spider was slowly crawling. However, it was more medium big. As soon as it latched onto his back, he'd bite him, causing a sharp pain for him to actually go back into water, screaming in agony for the young 4-year-old prince trying to shake off the medium-sized spider crab with its long legs wrapped around his waist. Unable for him to actually shake it off. Peter Seastar, crying out, "Help! Someone, please!" Just as he was about to lose hope, the pain intensified, and a strange warmth flooded through him. In that moment of desperation, something deep within him awakened. It was as if the essence of the ocean itself was responding to his need for strength and survival. With a sudden burst of energy, Peter felt a surge of power coursing through his veins. He focused on the water around him, instinctively calling forth its energy. The current surged, and with a powerful flick of his wrist, he created a wave that knocked the spider crab off him, sending it tumbling into the depths. As the creature retreated, Peter gasped and swam back down to the safety of the coral reefs, his heart racing. He could feel his body changing, adapting to the aftermath of the encounter. He wasn't just a prince anymore, he was something more, something powerful. Peter Seastar, panting, what just happened? But before Peter Seastar could do anything else, his body shut down all sense of function, causing him to actually faint and black out on the ocean floor. In his unconscious state, Peter's mind wandered through a realm of vivid dreams. He saw images of ancient Atlantean warriors, powerful and noble, wielding the elemental forces of the ocean. They moved with grace and strength, their scales shimmering with the light of the sun filtering through the water. He felt their voices echoing in his mind, whispering words of wisdom and courage. "Embrace your destiny, young prince. The ocean is your ally," they seemed to say. "You have the heart of a hero within you." Suddenly, he was pulled back to consciousness by a familiar voice, echoing through the depths of the sea. "Ariel, frantic Peter. Wake up." As Peter's eyes fluttered open, he found himself surrounded by the concerned faces of his sisters. Ariel hovered close, her worried expression melting into relief as she saw him stir. Peter Seastar, groggy, what happened? I felt something. Ariel, tears in her eyes, you fainted. We were so worried. Aquata, standing beside Ariel, quickly swam closer, her brow furrowed in concern. Aquata, insistent, you're not hurt, are you? That spider crab didn't do any lasting damage, did it? Peter rubbed his eyes and took a deep breath, however his eyes widened when the moment he saw a shark nearby swimming towards them willing to eat him and his sisters. However, sharp pain went through his mind, almost like his spider sense going off warning him about danger. Peter Seastar, wide-eyed, look out. There's a shark. Ariel and the others gasped, their playful demeanor shifting to panic as they turned to see the approaching danger. The shark, a sleek and powerful creature, was closing in fast, drawn by the commotion. Aquata, frantically, we need to get out of here. Has Ariel and the rest of the sisters fled from the shark? However, the 4-year-old Peter stood there. He felt his body incredible power surging within him. Realizing that he isn't going to run, he's willing to fight that shark, with incredible speed he dashes towards the shark. Athena, Peter, what are you doing? Indrina, are you trying to get yourself killed by a shark? The young 4-year-old Peter dashes towards the shark, fist clenched, giving one punch directly at the shark's left side of its jaw. The one incredible punch causing the teeth and some parts of the bones and clean its skull fracture to be fractured, causing a shark to be flying into the seawall. Peter Seastar, wide-eyed, whoa. How the hell did I? Was it because I got bitten by that big spider crab? I mean, I do felt a bit weird and different. My body does feel incredible, but also at the same time I'm also worried. Ariel and the rest of her sisters look at their youngest brother in complete shock and disbelief, seeing him take down a shark with one punch for a 4-year-old to do the impossible. Ariel, gasping, Peter. How did you? Athena, eyes wide, you just knocked out a shark. Indrina, incredulous, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you? Peter stood there, heart racing, his small fist still clenched. He couldn't quite wrap his head around what had just happened. The power that had surged through him felt foreign yet exhilarating. Peter Seastar, breathless, I don't know. I just felt this rush, and I knew I had to protect you all. As the shark slowly regained its senses and began to swim away, Peter's jaw dropped in awe, realizing the magnitude of what he'd just done. He felt strong, stronger than he ever thought possible for his age. The warmth inside him pulsed, comforting yet strange, as if the ocean itself was cheering him on. Ariel, Stepping closer, concern softening her voice. Peter, you really are something special. But you have to be careful. You can't just fight sharks like that. Peter, nodding, a mix of pride and worry in his eyes. I know. I just felt like I had to do something. Aquata, placing a hand on his shoulder. You did great, but let's not make that a habit. We don't want you getting hurt. Peter looked at his sisters, their faces a mix of admiration and caution. He felt a sense of belonging and purpose, but he also understood their concern. This new power was a gift, but it could also be a curse if wielded recklessly. Peter Seastar, determined, I promise I'll be careful. I just want to be able to protect all of you. Ariel, smiling, you already did. Suddenly, the ocean around them began to stir as a school of fish swam by, their scales shimmering in the sunlight. Peter felt an instinctive connection to them, a sense of understanding that transcended words. It was as if he could hear their thoughts, their warnings, and their cheers. Peter Seastar, whispering, I can hear them. Indrina, tilting her head, hear who? Peter pointed excitedly at the school of fish as they danced around him. Peter Seastar, enthusiastically, the fish. They're telling me the waters are safe now. The shark won't come back. Ariel, eyes shining with excitement, this is amazing, Peter. You're not just strong, you can communicate with them too. Peter's heart swelled with pride. He realized that he was no longer just a curious young prince, he was becoming a hero who could bridge the gap between the ocean's creatures and his family's safety. Atina, smiling, you really are the Atlantean spider now, aren't you? Peter felt a surge of warmth at the name. He liked it. It felt right. Peter Seastar, grinning, yeah. I am. Ariel, clapping her hands, what's next, then? More shark punching. Peter chuckled, the tension of the earlier moment dissipating. Peter Seastar, playfully, maybe we can train together. I want to learn how to use these powers better, so I can protect everyone. Ariel and her sisters nodded in agreement, their spirits lifted by Peter's enthusiasm. As they began to swim back toward the coral reefs, the bond between them grew stronger. Peter's heart raced not just from the adrenaline of his encounter with the shark, but from the realization that he had a purpose. He was destined to be a protector, a hero for both the land and the sea. And so, the adventures of Peter Seastar, the Atlantean spider, began. With his sisters by his side, he was ready to embrace his newfound powers and face whatever challenges lay ahead, all while discovering the wonders of the ocean and the surface world. As the sun began to set, casting golden rays through the water, Peter swam alongside his sisters, the laughter echoing through the currents. Chapter number 1, 8 years later. Location, Atlantic Ocean, City of Atlantis. Peter Seastar is now at the age of 16, swimming across the deep blue ocean, taken care of many problems like taking down many sea predators that were close to the city of Atlantis. With each powerful stroke of his legs, Peter propelled himself deeper into the shimmering seascape, navigating through corals, schools of fish, and the occasional lurking predator. Years of training had honed his abilities, he was an expert in combat, capable of hand-to-hand resistance against even the most ferocious sea creatures. Those who dared threaten the city of Atlantis soon learned that the Atlantean spider was a foe to be reckoned with. Peter, to himself, with determination, another day, another patrol. Let's see what trouble the ocean has for me today. He swam near the city's protective borders, the magnificent coral buildings towering above him, each colored vibrantly and filled with the life of his fellow Atlanteans. The facade of serenity was punctuated by the distant sounds of laughter and song, a reminder of the life he cherished and fought to protect. Yet, lurking beneath that beauty was the ever-present threat of danger. As he patrolled, Peter sensed something off in the waters, an unusual agitation in the currents, warning him that something was amiss. His heightened senses kicked in, honed from years of exploration and protective efforts. Peter, narrowing his eyes, I can feel it, there's something wrong. With a flick of his powerful tail, he surged forward, gliding swiftly toward the disturbance. When he arrived, his gaze locked onto a disturbing sight, a small group of fierce-looking barracudas encircling a young dolphin that was caught in a net. The dolphin thrashed desperately, its distress echoing through the water. Peter's heart raced, it was always the innocent that suffered the most. Without hesitating, he zipped toward the commotion, his webbing activated, allowing him to glide and navigate the water like a blur. Peter Seastar, calling out, stay calm. I'm coming to help. The barracudas turned their sharp teeth toward Peter, their predatory instincts ignited as they eyed the young hero. In their eyes, he was just another interloper daring to intrude on their meal. Peter Seastar, facing the barracudas, "You're not getting that dolphin. Let it go." He unleashed a powerful wave with a swipe of his hand, harnessing hydrokinesis to create a turbulent current that sent the barracudas reeling. The fish darted away, seeking safer waters, their hungry ambitions thwarted. With the immediate threat gone, Peter swam over to the distressed dolphin, his senses calming as he approached. "Peter Seastar, gently, it's okay now. I'm here to help you." He inspected the net constraining the young dolphin. Quickly, he reached into his suit, activating a series of hard water constructs. Sharp blades formed from solidified water that cut through the fishing net's material. Seconds later, the dolphin was free, and it glanced up at him with wide, grateful eyes. Dolphin, chirruping, "Thank you. I thought I was a goner." Peter smiled, his heart swelling with pride. Peter Seastar, reassuringly, "No need to thank me. Just doing what I was born to do." The dolphin flicked its tail happily, and an understanding formed between them. Peter could sense this connection. The ability to communicate with marine life was one of his greatest powers, a gift he embraced fully. Peter Seastar, looking up, "You should get to safety. There may be more predators nearby." With a grateful leap, the dolphin swam off, darting away toward a cluster of friendly sea turtles who had been watching the scene unfold. Having resolved the immediate crisis, Peter felt an overwhelming sense of satisfaction. However, he knew that life beneath the waves was never dull, and the ocean always held more challenges ahead. As he continued to swim around the city, he encountered a familiar face. His sister Ariel was approaching, her bright red hair flowing like flames against a deep blue backdrop. Ariel, excitedly, "There you are, Peter. I heard you took down a huge group of barracudas near the Coral Gardens." Peter, smirking, "Just a regular day at the office. I'm glad you stopped by." Ariel swam closer, her eyes sparkling with admiration and mischief. "Ariel, I've heard rumors of something brewing near the surface. Fishermen have been spotted capturing not just fish, but larger beings, too." Peter's expression turned serious. Peter Seastar, concerned, "They're crossing lines again. We need to investigate." Ariel nodded, her expression shifting to determination. "Ariel, let's go. I can't let them ruin our home." Together they dashed toward the surface, their synchronized movements fluid and instinctual. As they broke through the waves, the sun blazed above them, casting a warm glow that seemed to rejuvenate their spirits. What they found at the surface was a disheartening sight. Several boats littered the waters, fishermen hauling in large nets filled with struggling sea creatures, including merfolk. A group of men was engaged in loud chatter, mocking the imprisoned beings while ignoring their cries. Peter Seastar, fury rising, "We have to stop them." Ariel, determined, agreed. "We can't let them take anyone else." As they descended back into the water, Peter and Ariel exchanged a resolute glance, their minds in sync with their purpose. They would not stand by and let this wrong go unchallenged. Peter Seastar, intently, "I'll go in first, create a diversion. You follow and help any creature in danger." Ariel nodded, vibrant energy radiating from her as she prepared herself for the fight. Peter Seastar, earnestly, "Remember, we fight for our home and every creature in it." With that, Peter surged forward, breaking through the water's surface with tremendous force, presenting himself boldly before the fishermen. Peter Seastar, heroically, "You will not take any more of my friends. Release them." The fishermen turned, surprise etched on their faces as they saw the young prince standing against them, not just defending his friends but embodying the spirit of the ocean itself. Fisherman number 1, laughing, "Look at this little fish. Think you can scare us off?" Peter felt the surge of confidence pulse through him, the inner strength of the Atlantean spider rising to the occasion. Peter Seastar, defiantly, "I'm not just a fish, I'm the one who will end your greed." With that, he lunged forward, twisting water into powerful streams that caused the fishermen's boats to rock precariously, throwing them off balance. Confusion erupted among the crew, and Peter quickly took advantage, racing toward their captured sea creatures who were crying out for freedom. Ariel dove in behind him, displaying her own prowess as she expertly darted between fishermen's nets, freeing as many beings as she could. Peter felt a rush of adrenaline as he unleashed a barrage of water blasts against the fishermen, hard water constructs deflecting their frantic attempts to regain control. Fisherman number 2, shouting, "Get him!" As fish flailed and friends cheered, Peter's heart raced, knowing he had a responsibility to save the innocent being exploited for profit. "Remember who you are," echoed through Peter's thoughts, both a mantra and a reminder of the legacy he held and the duty etched into his very existence. With newfound resolve, Peter confronted the closest fisherman, unleashing a wave of his own strength and agility to disarm him, twisting the net from the man's grip and sending it flying into the ocean. The scene unfolded like a beautifully chaotic dance. Peter, the Atlantean spider, moved with grace and precision, while the tides of justice crashed around them. As Ariel freed the last of the captured beings, she turned to Peter, a glint of triumph in her eyes. Ariel, shouting above the chaos, "We did it!" But just as they thought victory was at hand, the temperatures of the battle shifted. The fishermen, now on the defensive, were becoming desperate, resorting to more violent measures. One man rushed at Peter, brandishing a harpoon. Peter Seastar, reacting quickly, "Watch out!" He dodged, gripping the harpoon shaft mid-swing and twisting it from the fisherman's hands. The weapon tumbled, splashing into the waters away from them. The remaining fishermen glanced at each other, realizing they were no match for the underwater champions and abandoned their pursuits, scrambling back into their boats and hastily retreating. Peter took a moment to breathe, adrenaline still pulsing through his veins. They had successfully defended their home, saving the captured merfolk and ensuring that no further harm came from those who sought to steal their freedom. As the fishermen disappeared into the distance, Peter and Ariel surfaced again, catching their breaths and relishing in the triumph of their teamwork. Ariel, wide-eyed, "That was incredible." Peter Seastar, grinning, "Just another day for the Atlantean spider." They exchanged high fives, their bond stronger than ever. Together, they would continue to protect their ocean home and the balance between their worlds. Returning to Atlantis, Peter felt a renewed sense of purpose. Even as they celebrated their victory with their family at home, he knew that next time, they would need to be even more vigilant. The ocean was teeming with mysteries, challenges, and the weight of protecting it all rested on his shoulders. In the depths of his heart, Peter understood that being a hero was not merely about strength. It was about courage, compassion, and unity among the creatures of the sea, and with his family beside him, he was ready for whatever lay ahead. The journey of Peter Seastar, the Atlantean spider, had only just begun. Chapter number 2. Welcome to Bikini Bottom. Location, Atlantic Ocean. As Peter Seastar did you exploring war of the ocean till he saw an explosion coming somewhere which could chosen on how exactly did an explosion come from underwater. Peter Seastar, to himself, what the hell? Peter Seastar decided to swim where the explosion came from and was surprised to see a city with intelligent fish that were able to talk and walk just like humans. Peter Seastar, to himself, what the heck is? Only for Peter Seastar going to see a giant someone's light green cockroach mech rampaging to some kind of restaurant. Plankton's mech firing blasters directly at for people that were one was a yellow sponge and the other one was the pink starfish. Plankton inside of his mech. Now that give me the secret formula for the Krabby Patty. As asked, the yellow sponge known as SpongeBob had a serious look looking at the giant green cockroach mech aiming its weapons directly at him. SpongeBob, I'll never give you the secret formula. Plankton inside of his mech, fine then prepare to perish. As Peter Seastar changing into his iconic blue, white and black suit of the iconic hero suit he made Atlantean spider ready to take down this unknown villain. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider confidently, let's do this. He propelled himself upward, bursting from the surface of the water in a dramatic display of power and agility. Spiraling through the air, he gained the attention of both the inhabitants of Bikini Bottom and Plankton himself. Plankton, snarling as he spotted Peter, what's this? Another pest. With the mech's blasters trained on him, Peter landed gracefully on one of the mech's arms, quickly assessing the situation. He could feel the vibrations of fear mingling with the resolve from the onlooking crowd. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, shouting boldly, you won't hurt anyone else. With determination radiating from him, Peter Seastar, now the Atlantean spider, planted his feet firmly on the mech's arm. The vibrations of the chaotic battle surged through the metal beneath him, instilling a feeling of urgency. Plankton's menacing laughter echoed from his mech. Plankton, Infuriated, you think you can stand in the way of my conquest. You're just a fish in a funny costume. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, gritting his teeth, you underestimate me, Plankton. The ocean protects its own. With that declaration, Peter summoned his hydrokinesis, sending a powerful jet of water towards Plankton's mech. The blast knocked the giant cockroach-like structure off balance, causing it to sway dangerously. Plankton, caught off guard, struggled to keep control as the mech staggered back. Plankton, frantic, no. Get back upright. Seizing the opportunity, Peter launched himself into the air, twisting and flipping in a dazzling show of agility. He aimed for the mech's control panel, hoping to disable its weapon systems once and for all. As Peter landed on the roof of the mech, he launched a hard water construct in the shape of a lance. It pierced through the control panel, causing sparks to fly and the mech to sputter. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, shouting, "This ends now." Just then, a barrage of smaller projectiles burst forth from the mech, aiming straight for him. With reflexes honed through years of training, Peter weaved and dodged the incoming attacks, feeling the rush of adrenaline surge through him. He was focused and ready to fight back. SpongeBob and Patrick, witnessing the intensity of the battle, felt an urge to help. SpongeBob, cheerfully, "We can help too." "Right, Patrick." Patrick, enthusiastically, "Yeah. Let's do it." They positioned themselves strategically near the mech, ready to assist the Atlantean spider. Peter Seastar, calling back, "Stay close. When the time is right, we'll take him down together." With renewed determination, Peter leapt off the mech and created a water barrier around SpongeBob and Patrick. As he landed on the ground, he could sense that the two were implementing their own plans. SpongeBob, excitedly, "I'll distract him with my frying skills." Peter glanced back just as SpongeBob pulled a Krabby Patty from seemingly nowhere, holding it like a shield. Patrick, cheering, "You got this, SpongeBob." SpongeBob charged forward, waving the patty in the air. SpongeBob, shouting, "Hey, Plankton. You'll never get the secret formula while I'm here." Plankton turned his attention from Peter to SpongeBob, confusion mixed with fury. Plankton, angrily, "What are you doing, Sponge? Get away from my..." Before he could finish, SpongeBob tossed the Krabby Patty directly into the mech's face. It was an unexpected attack, causing Plankton to sputter in surprise, his tiny hands flailing under the sudden barrage of flavor and chaos. Peter Seastar, spotting the distraction, quickly moved in. He used the water currents to glide towards the mech and quickly multiplied his hard water constructs, creating a series of powerful constructs that surrounded the mech, encapsulating it in a watery cocoon. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, grinning, "Nice work, SpongeBob. Now, let's seal the deal." Plankton, screaming, "No. You can't do this to me." As Peter summoned the last of his strength, he tightened his constructs around the mech, immobilizing it further. SpongeBob, ecstatically, "We did it." Patrick, confused, "Did we win?" Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, chuckling, "We've got him." Plankton, now utterly defeated and trapped within his own mech, slumped down in his cockpit. Plankton, groaning, "You haven't seen the last of me. I'll be back with a bigger, better plan." As Plankton left the remains of the scraps of the mech and headed back to his restaurant, also known as the Chum Bucket. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, "Is he always like that?" SpongeBob, "Oh, trust me, he always does that a lot. He always wants to get the secret formula to make his restaurant seem better." Patrick, scratching his head, "What's a formula?" SpongeBob, enthusiastically, "It's what makes the Krabby Patty taste so delicious." Peter couldn't help but chuckle at the innocence of his new friends. It was refreshing to be among those who cared so deeply about community and friendship. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, "So, what's this Krabby Patty like?" SpongeBob, eyes sparkling, "It's the best burger you'll ever taste. Allow me to show you." Before Peter could respond, SpongeBob darted towards the Krusty Krab, pulling Patrick along. They led Peter through the streets filled with jubilant onlookers, who waved and cheered at their heroes. Peter felt a new sense of belonging arise within him. It was more than just about protecting his underwater homeland, it was also about celebrating the bonds formed in the face of adversity. As they arrived at the Krusty Krab, the atmosphere was electric. Flags adorned the restaurant, and the aroma of fried food wafted invitingly through the water. SpongeBob, beaming, welcome to the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs, with a hearty grin, well, if it ain't the Atlantean spider. Thanks to ya, my restaurant's still standing. Peter could see the pride in Mr. Krabs' eyes, a glimmer of heroism reflecting the spirit of community he had come to admire. SpongeBob, energetically, I'll get you a Krabby Patty right now. As he rushed into the kitchen, Peter turned to Mr. Krabs. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, smiling, no worries. It was my pleasure to help. Mr. Krabs nodded, his soft, crab-like features softening with appreciation. Mr. Krabs, chuckling, just be careful, Plankton will try again, I can assure you. Before he could respond, SpongeBob bounded back, a beautifully assembled Krabby Patty held high in his hands, the lettuce and special sauce glistening as if beckoning Peter to take a bite. SpongeBob, grinning, here you go. Fresh from the grill, the best in Bikini Bottom. Peter took the patty, examining it closely, it was indeed an impressive creation. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, laughing, it looks amazing. He took a big bite, and a burst of flavor exploded in his mouth, juicy, savory, and filled with a sensation unlike any food he had tasted before. It was almost magical, the way the flavors mingled together and filled him with warmth. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, eyes widening, this is incredible. How do you do it? SpongeBob, beaming with pride, it's all about the love you put into it. Patrick, mouth full, and the pickles. Peter laughed, wiping crumbs from his chin. The camaraderie and joy shared around the table was infectious, and he savored every moment. Soon, other citizens of Bikini Bottom joined them, eager to hear tales of Peter's adventures as the Atlantean spider and to celebrate his bravery. As laughter and stories flowed freely, Peter felt an unexpected sense of family grow within his heart. As the festivities continued, Peter turned thoughtful for a moment. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, to SpongeBob, I have to admit, I wasn't sure what to expect when I arrived. But this place, it feels like home. SpongeBob's face brightened even more. SpongeBob, gleefully, that's because we're all friends here. You'll always be welcome in Bikini Bottom. Patrick, nodding vigorously, yeah. We need more heroes like you. Peter felt a warmth in those words. It was more than just an adventure, it was the beginnings of new friendships and bonds that would last far beyond his time in Bikini Bottom. Out of nowhere, a bizarre noise echoed through the restaurant, drawing everyone's attention. Plankton had returned, albeit without his mech. Plankton, huffing, trying to catch his breath, you may have won this round, but I'll be back. I always have a plan. Peter's demeanor shifted, instinctively reverting to a more serious tone. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, calmly, we'll be ready for you, Plankton. You can't harm this city. SpongeBob and Patrick took defensive stances beside Peter, and the citizens began to rally around the hero and his friends, showing solidarity against their would-be antagonist. Plankton, growling, frustrated, you pompous sea creatures think you can stop me. You'll rue the day. As he scurried off to his chum bucket, Peter exchanged glances with SpongeBob and Patrick, who both wore expressions of determination. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, grinning, looks like we might have more adventures ahead of us. SpongeBob, excitedly, oh, I can't wait. Just think of all the fun we'll have. With the sun now sinking slowly below the horizon, casting golden rays through the ocean, Peter felt hopeful about whatever awaited him next. He had forged alliances, discovered new friends, and opened up a chapter in his life that blended seamlessly between the oceans he loved. Chapter number 3, Getting a Job at the Krusty Krab. Location, Atlantic Ocean. Days later of the incident when Peter Seastar, as Atlantean spider, taking down some unknown villain known as Plaintiff from stealing secret formula known as the Krabby Patties. Peter Seastar, cross-legged on the sand of the sea, was thinking about getting a job and also so moving out of the kingdom of Atlantis. Peter Seastar, to himself, now then, what exactly am I going to do to get a new place? And how exactly I'm going to get a job? Just then Peter Seastar remembered about something that happened him, as Atlantean spider, taking down Plankton for stealing the formula of the Krabby Patties at the Krusty Krab. Peter Seastar, to himself, I guess working at some fast food place won't actually be somewhat of a small start. As Peter Seastar swimming towards the city known as Bikini Bottom and found the fast food restaurant known as the Krusty Krab. Peter C-star, to himself, well here goes nothing. Wait, I don't actually have a resume but I bet they can actually hire me. As Peter C-star goes into the main area of the restaurant of the Krusty Krab where he was grieved by the grumpy squid known as Squidward. Squidward, how may I take your order? Peter C-star, oh you see. I'm actually here to apply for a job. As Mr. Krabs, the manager of the Krusty Krabs heard it and was curious on why exactly this person would actually join a position of the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs, okay boyo, tell me why should I hire you to work at my establishment? Peter C-star, because I'm actually looking for a job. And thought I might actually know the ropes on how this restaurant works. Mr. Krabs rubbed his chin with a claw, sizing up Peter C-star. He was intrigued by the boy's unique appearance and the idea of having a superhero on staff, a notion that could only benefit the Krusty Krab's reputation. However, Mr. Krabs was also known for his shrewd business sense and would not hire just anyone on a whim. Mr. Krabs, leaning forward, a superhero, sounds like my kind of marketing gimmick. But I need to know ya can handle the pressure of the Krusty Krab. This ain't no fancy underwater palace. Peter C-star, nervously, I understand, Mr. Krabs. I can be fast, efficient, and I'm always ready to help out. Plus, I have experience dealing with chaos after battling plankton. Squidward, rolling his eyes, great. Just what we need, another loudmouth in this already chaotic restaurant. Peter C-star, smiling although slightly intimidated, I can assure you, I won't be loud. Mr. Krabs, scratching his head, and what would make ya the perfect worker for flipping patties? Peter C-star, enthusiastically, I can use my hydrokinesis to multitask. I can create hard water constructs to stack patties while I fry them. Mr. Krabs, perking up, hard water constructs, ya say? That could save me some serious time. Peter, plus, I can swim really fast and get supplies in a jiffy. Mr. Krabs, nodding, contemplating, sounds good, lad. But how will you manage on the surface, with land creatures and all? Peter C-star, confidently, I can adapt. I was bitten by a sea spider, and it gave me abilities both in water and on land. I can handle anything that comes my way. At that moment, SpongeBob rushed in through the side door, carrying a stack of Krabby Patties. He paused mid-stride, his eyes lighting up when he spotted Peter. SpongeBob, cheerfully, Peter. You're here. Peter C-star, smiling, hi, SpongeBob. I'm applying for a job. SpongeBob, eyes wide, that's awesome. I can show you the ropes. Squidward, groaning, great, just what I need, a sea spider and a sponge arguing about cooking. Mr. Krabs, clapping his claws together, alright then, Peter. I'll give ya a chance. You can start tomorrow during lunch rush. We'll see if you can keep up with the orders. Peter C-star, grinning, thank you so much, Mr. Krabs. You won't regret it. Mr. Krabs, grinning back, just remember, lad, keep those Krabby Patties coming and don't let Plankton get any ideas. Peter nodded, excitement bubbling inside him as he left the Krusty Krab. He was one step closer to his independence and building a life outside Atlantis, but he was also keen to learn the ins and outs of the restaurant. It felt like a new adventure was just beginning. The next day at the Krusty Krab. As the sun rose over Bikini Bottom, Peter arrived early, eager to impress his new boss. He donned the Krusty Krab uniform, an oversized hat and an apron to shield him from any potential food splatters. SpongeBob greeted him at the door, bouncing excitedly. SpongeBob, grinning, ready to be a Krabby Patty pro. Peter C-star, determined, ready as I'll ever be. SpongeBob led Peter into the kitchen, where the fragrant aroma of fried patties filled the air. Behind the grill, Mr. Krabs was checking the stock of ingredients, counting out the buns meticulously. Mr. Krabs, clapping his claws, listen up, boys. Today, we're expecting a huge crowd, so I need both of ya to work hard. SpongeBob, saluting, aye, Captain. Peter C-star, energetically, let's do this. The lunch rush came swiftly, and the doors swung open. A wave of customers streamed in, and Peter felt a surge of adrenaline. SpongeBob, shouting over the noise, just follow my lead. You'll get the hang of it. As the orders started to pile up, Peter shifted into high gear. Using his rapid swimming skills, he zoomed between the kitchen and the serving area, grabbing ingredients and assembling patties at superhuman speed. He created hard water constructs to hold more patties and buns simultaneously, maximizing efficiency. Customers gasped and cheered as they witnessed the new worker's skills, while Squidward could only blink in disbelief. Squidward, muttering, "How is this even happening?" The more work Peter did, the more confident he became, and soon he and SpongeBob fell into sync, completing orders like a well-oiled machine. The two shared laughs, and SpongeBob taught Peter how to flip the patties with flair. SpongeBob, laughing, "You can't just throw them on the grill. You've got to treat them with love." Peter Seastar, grinning, "Consider me your crabby apprentice." As the lunch rush slowed, Mr. Krabs examined the day's earnings, his eyes glistening with pride. Mr. Krabs, grinning widely, "Well done, boys. You've outdone yourself today." Peter felt an immense wave of pride wash over him as he wiped the sweat off his brow. He had made a difference in the Krusty Krab's success, and in doing so, found a sense of belonging. SpongeBob, cheerfully, "And the best part is that we had fun doing it." Peter nodded appreciatively, grateful to have friends who made even the hardest days bright with their positivity. As the day came to an end, Peter reflected on the journey that had led him here. Sure, it was a fast food job, but it was a job that brought him closer to his true self, an opportunity to help others, and perhaps redefine what it meant to be a hero, both in the ocean and on land. As he walked out of the Krusty Krab, Peter felt the salty breeze brush against him. Chapter number 4, The Beginning of Spider Bob. Location, Atlantic Ocean, Jellyfish Field. At some parts of the outskirts of Bikini Bottom in the field of kelp where bunch of creatures known as jellyfish kept on buzzing around. Until a certain yellow sponge character known as SpongeBob using his jellyfish net to grab one of the jellyfishes. Peter Seastar watching SpongeBob catching and letting many of the jellyfish go. Peter Seastar, "So I guess this is what you do on your free time. Catch and release jellyfishes." SpongeBob, "Of course it's kind of fun after all. Just try not to get stinked by them." Peter Seastar noticed another odd-looking jellyfish that blew and has a rooster crest on its head known, Blue-Crested Blaster, and another odd-looking one Two-Fisted Jumper is a translucent orange jellyfish with 4 yellow spots, 2 big fists known, Two-Fisted Jumper, and a third one yellow, has 4 light red spots, and a mouth with a purple tongue. It also has 5 stingers, with the middle one having an arrowhead-like barb at the tip like a tail. It sings in an operatic voice known, Gold-Throated Singer. Peter Seastar, "Never seen those 3 other jellyfish before." SpongeBob, "Of course I recognize those jellyfishes. Those are one of the rare ones that always show up." As Two-Fisted Jumper jellyfish towards Peter Seastar as if challenging him for an arm wrestle. Peter Seastar, "I guess you want to challenge me for an arm wrestle, little guy." Two-Fisted Jumper jellyfish jumped up and down with its 2 fists as if saying yes. Peter Seastar, "Okay then you're on." With SpongeBob. SpongeBob trying to get Blue-Crested Blaster jellyfish using his jellyfish net was able to catch Shirt. However, unknown to him that a spider or a sea spider was actually crawling behind him that had radioactive powers to give to see the yellow sea sponge. As SpongeBob is able to finally get the blue jellyfish with a rooster crest on its head on his net. SpongeBob, "I have to admit that was kind of fun playing a little bit of a chase." However, SpongeBob felt a sharp pain as if something bit him on the back of a sponge body. The sea spider was able to bit SpongeBob as he jumped off from his body and crawl away to who knows where. The excitement of the jellyfishing adventure came to an abrupt halt as SpongeBob felt the sharp bite on his back. He stumbled forward, his jellyfish net swaying uncontrollably in his grasp. SpongeBob, frantically, "Ouch. What was that?" Peter Seastar immediately dropped his challenge with the Two-Fisted Jumper jellyfish, a sense of urgency washing over him. Peter Seastar, concerned, "SpongeBob. Are you okay?" SpongeBob twisted around clumsily, trying to see what had bitten him, but his own flexible body made it difficult. SpongeBob, worried, "I don't know. I think something just bit me." Peter's instincts kicked in. He quickly scanned the area, noticing the glimmer of the sea spider making its escape into the nearby kelp forest. Peter Seastar, determined, "Stay still. Let me check the bite." SpongeBob, fanning his arms, "I don't see anything. What if it's," gasp, poisonous. Feeling the urge to act fast, Peter focused his attention. He swam closer to SpongeBob, inspecting the bite mark on his back. Peter Seastar, worried, it looks like a bite from a sea spider. You might be getting some kind of transformation. SpongeBob, wide-eyed, transformation. Like in those superhero cartoons. Peter nodded, knowing that the radioactive nature of the spider could endow SpongeBob with unique powers. Peter Seastar, urgently, but we need to be careful. The energy could be volatile. As they spoke, SpongeBob felt a tingle spread from the bite, radiating warmth through his spongy body. His muscles began to twitch, and he suddenly found himself standing taller and feeling lighter. SpongeBob, excitedly, whoa. I feel different. Peter took a cautious step back, both apprehensive and amazed as he watched his friend begin to glow softly. Peter Seastar, encouragingly, just focus, SpongeBob. Try to control it. SpongeBob, already brimming with excitement at the prospect of gaining new powers, took a deep breath. SpongeBob, determined, all right. I can do this. He closed his eyes, remembering all the times he had effortlessly caught jellyfish, his passion guiding him. The glow intensified around him, pulsing rhythmically as he embraced the energy. Suddenly, in a burst of spontaneous energy, SpongeBob leapt into the air, flipping gracefully above the kelp fronds. SpongeBob, shouting with glee, look at me. I'm flying, sort of. Peter clapped his fins together, thrilled for his friend. Peter Seastar, cheering, that's it, SpongeBob. Use that energy to move with purpose. SpongeBob inverted midair, landing deftly on a thick kelp strand, which instantly wrapped around him like a trampoline. With newfound agility, he bounced up and down, giggling. SpongeBob, joyfully, I feel like I'm a jellyfish. But then, suddenly, his movements grew erratic. He began to lose control, swinging wildly off the kelp and spiraling toward the jellyfish field. Peter Seastar, shouting, easy there, Spider Bob. Don't overdo it. As SpongeBob hurled through the air, he instinctively shot out sticky strands of webbing, lassoing a nearby jellyfish in mid-flight. SpongeBob, laughing, I can do this. Peter couldn't help but laugh as he watched SpongeBob embrace his new abilities. Unfortunately, just as everything seemed to be going well, the blue-crested blaster jellyfish, now freed from SpongeBob's net, suddenly darted back toward them. The jellyfish buzzed angrily as if disturbed by the commotion, its electrical aura sparking with electricity. Peter Seastar, seriously, looks like we've drawn some attention. SpongeBob landed softly beside Peter, gripping the head of another jellyfish almost like a shield. SpongeBob, determined, we can handle it. Right, Peter. The blue-crested blaster jellyfish, now in attack mode, aimed a shot of electric energy at the duo. Peter Seastar, shouting, watch out. He summoned his hydrokinesis, creating a barrier of water to deflect the incoming attack. The sudden surge of water swept around them, neutralizing the electrical blast. SpongeBob observed Peter's quick reflexes, feeling the thrill of being part of the action. SpongeBob, looking determined, let's turn the tides on this jellyfish. Channeling his newfound abilities, SpongeBob shot a webbing strand at the blue-crested blaster. The sticky substance wrapped around the jellyfish, slowing its movements. Peter Seastar, encouragingly, nice job. Now we can contain it. With their combined efforts, Peter and SpongeBob worked in sync, using hydrokinesis and webbing to bind the jellyfish and calm its erratic behavior. Peter Seastar, grinning, together, we make a great team. SpongeBob, cheerfully, Spider Bob and Atlantean Spider to the rescue. Once contained, the blue-crested blaster ceased its electric assaults, bobbing helplessly in the water. Realizing it meant no harm, Peter and SpongeBob exchanged relieved glances. Peter Seastar, smirking, I think we've made a new friend. SpongeBob, excitedly, what should we do with it? Can we keep it? Peter laughed, watching as the jellyfish calmed down, slowly gliding closer to them, almost as if in appreciation for their help. Peter Seastar, thoughtfully, how about we let it go, but keep an eye on it. When it's not upset, we can learn more about the creatures in our waters. SpongeBob, nodding enthusiastically, I love that idea. Friends through understanding. With that, they carefully untangled the blue-crested blaster and watched as it hovered cautiously before them. After a moment, it gave a gentle pulse of color and zipped away, disappearing into the depths. SpongeBob. Clapping, we did it. I can't believe how exciting this day has been. Peter smiled, knowing that with each new adventure, not only were their powers growing, but so was their friendship. Peter Seastar, confidently, and it's just the beginning, Spider Bob. With your abilities and my skills, we can take on anything that comes our way. As they swam back into the jellyfish fields, Peter couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of purpose. The ocean was full of mysteries, adventures, and a lot of jellyfish, and now he and SpongeBob were ready to embrace each and every one of them. Chapter number 5, Training Spider Bob. Location, Atlantic Ocean, Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob's Pineapple House. At SpongeBob's Pineapple House, Peter Seastar, wearing the iconic blue with black with a white spider insignia on it, dressed as Atlantean Spider. Waiting for SpongeBob with his hero costume as SpongeBob opens the door and Peter Seastar, as Atlantean Spider, to see Spider-Man hero costume Senior Wisconsin Square, just like his body with red with blue, even with a white sponge-like spider insignia. SpongeBob as Spider Bob, so what exactly do you think? Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider, I'm rather impressed seeing his runner square just like you, and the color is unique in its own way. SpongeBob as Spider Bob, so what exactly is our training schedule for today? Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider, well, number 1, you have to learn to sense dangers such as spider senses, super strength, wall crawling, and durability. SpongeBob as Spider Bob, okay, the first one is for me to learn to use my spider sentence. So how am I going to actually use it? Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider, He realized that SpongeBob had a friend that is a squirrel known as Sandy. You have a genius girlfriend of a squirrel by the name of Sandy. Do you not? SpongeBob as Spider Bob, of course I do. Why exactly? Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider, I'm guessing that Sandy might actually create as a training facility that can actually help you trade your powers. SpongeBob as Spider Bob, that does sound like a smart idea. As both SpongeBob as Spider Bob and Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider web swing into Sandy Cheeks' Trident. Ask the ocean spiders of the sea finally made it to the destination of Sandy Cheeks' Trident. SpongeBob as Spider Bob puts on some kind of water to enter the Trident that doesn't have water, but air. Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider, so I'm guessing you used a bowl of water that you have to enter the Trident. SpongeBob as Spider Bob, yeah, I forgot to mention that there is no water because the first time I entered her house I almost died of dehydration. But luckily Sandy was able to save me and Patrick. Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider, that's quite a bit of a story. Once inside, they were met by the familiar warmth of Sandy's Trident. The air was filled with the scent of nuts and berries, and various inventions littered the ground, bustling with activity. Sandy Cheeks, looking up with a smile, well, howdy, partners. What brings ya into my Trident today? SpongeBob as Spider Bob, grinning excitedly, hey, Sandy. We need your help. Peter's teaching me to use my new powers, and we thought you could build a training facility. Sandy's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. Sandy Cheeks, rubbing her hands together, a training facility, huh? Sounds like a challenge. I love challenges. Let me see what I can whip up. A training facility takes shape. Sandy quickly got to work, pulling out various gadgets, ropes, and tools from her workshop. Meanwhile, Peter stood back, monitoring SpongeBob's readiness while also getting inspired by Sandy's innovative spirit. Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider, encouragingly to SpongeBob, remember, the key is to stay focused. Your spider senses will guide you, it's like a sixth sense that tingles when danger is near. SpongeBob as Spider Bob, nodding earnestly, got it. As Sandy assembled obstacles, she included various training areas tailored to help SpongeBob tap into his unique powers. There were climbing walls, areas to practice dodging, and even a section designed to test his reflexes against harmless projectiles. Sandy Cheeks, stepping back and gesturing proudly, alright. I present to ya, the Spider Bob training ground. SpongeBob's eyes widened with excitement as he looked at the training facility. SpongeBob as Spider Bob, overjoyed, this is amazing, Sandy. Thank you. Peter Seastar as Atlantean Spider, smiling, yes, thank you, Sandy. Now we can get started. Sandy Cheeks, Grinning, alright, let's see you in action, Spider Bob. Start with your spider senses. I'm gonna throw some foam projectiles at ya, and you gotta dodge 'em. SpongeBob's first test. As SpongeBob prepared himself, Peter stood back and watched with anticipation. Sandy initiated the test, launching colorful foam balls into the air toward SpongeBob. They darted through the air like quick little fish, and SpongeBob's instincts kicked in. Closing his eyes for a moment, he focused on the tingling feeling within him. Suddenly, he opened his eyes and leapt to the side just in time to avoid a foam ball whizzing past him. SpongeBob, as Spider Bob, exhilarated, I did it. Peter grinned wide, giving a thumbs up. Peter Seastar, as Atlantean Spider, encouragingly, awesome. Now keep going. The barrage continued, and SpongeBob's movements became more fluid. With each dodge and leap, he felt increasingly confident, sensing the flow around him like the currents of the ocean. Sandy cheeks, cheering, you got this, Spider Bob. Just remember to trust your instincts. Encouraged by her voice, SpongeBob pushed himself harder and began to turn into a blur of red and blue as he weaved through the projectiles, his agility shining through. After several more rounds, SpongeBob finally grew weary but beamed with pride. SpongeBob, as Spider Bob, breathing heavily but gleefully, that was incredible. I can definitely feel the improvement. Peter Seastar, smiling proudly, you're doing great. Next up, let's work on your strength. Sandy adjusted her glasses and gestured to an oversized weight at the training area. Sandy cheeks, with enthusiasm, let's see if you can lift this bad boy. SpongeBob squared his shoulders, ready to take on the challenge. He approached the weight and bent down, gripping the handle with all his might. With a determined grunt, he heaved the weight off the ground. It took every ounce of his strength, but, to his amazement, he managed to lift it above his head for just a moment before dropping it back down. SpongeBob, as Spider Bob, cheering, I did it. I lifted it. Peter clapped his fins together in excitement while Sandy cheered along. Sandy cheeks, laughing, that's fantastic. Keep building that strength. As the training continued, the trio worked tirelessly. They helped SpongeBob hone his powers while also incorporating moments of laughter and fun. By the end of the day, SpongeBob was exhausted yet exhilarated. He had grown more than he ever thought he could, and the bond among the three of them had strengthened through their shared efforts. SpongeBob, as Spider Bob, panting but happy, I can't wait for more training, guys. I feel like we're just getting started. Peter Seastar, smiling warmly, this is just the beginning, Spider Bob. Together, we're going to become an unstoppable team. With the sun setting on Bikini Bottom, the newly forged heroes felt a bright future ahead. Their adventures were only just beginning, filled with challenges and the promise of a friendship that would last through anything the ocean threw their way. Chapter number 6, Atlantean Spider meets H2O, Mermaid. Location, Atlantic Ocean. Atlantean Spider alongside his partner, Spider Bob, swimming across the ocean environment. It's so much amazing stuff happening, such as ocean wildlife. Atlantean Spider stopped swimming while also looking up to keep out what exactly is there in the surface. Spider Bob stopped swimming while also looking at his mentor, which was looking up at the ocean as he was thinking about the surface. Spider Bob, you were right there, sensei. Atlantean Spider, you know, I was always thinking, kind of actually gone to the surface. Even though my father always protested. I mean, sure, there have always been a lot of fishermen always liking to eat fish. But then again, who am I to judge? I mean, every living thing always lives and dies. Spider Bob, wow, that is kind of dark. Atlantean Spider, I know. Sorry, I just want to see what's out there in the world instead of being in the ocean. Spider Bob, I know how you feel. Trust me, my friend Sandy. The squirrel's also been on the surface. Atlantean Spider, wow, look at her after all. She's a squirrel and I'm technically an Atlantean who never sees what's going on out there. Spider Bob, don't worry, you might actually have your time. Or come for you that you will see the surface for the first time and maybe I'll actually join in. Atlantean Spider, yeah, maybe. As both Atlantean Spider and Spider Bob, their spider senses went off when the moment they heard someone crying for help. Atlantean Spider, looks like someone is calling for help. As both Atlantean Spider and Spider Bob were swimming to where the distressed person is calling for help as they did. The two of them were surprised to see three colorful mermaids, one of them having red hair and a red mermaid tail, the second one having yellow hair and a yellow mermaid tail. The third one being having purple hair and a purple mermaid tail, fighting against Man Ray, the Dirty Bubble and Jumbo Shrimp. These three mermaids were known as H2O, Mermaid, Ricky Chadwick, Emma Gilbert and Cleo Sartori. Man Ray, seriously, a group of mermaids think that they could be heroes. The Dirty Bubble, that's right, feel my power of my dirty odor. The Dirty Bubble using dirty odor of the gross stinky smell to the H2O, mermaid, causing them to gag and their faces to turn green, sick and hide the dirty odor. Atlantean Spider, gritting his teeth, we can't just stand by while they're in trouble. Spider Bob, are you ready to lend a hand? Spider Bob, nodding fiercely, you bet. Let's show them what we can do. With swift determination, Atlantean Spider and Spider Bob propelled themselves through the water toward the struggling mermaids. The sight of Man Ray, the Dirty Bubble, and Jumbo Shrimp terrorizing the trio sparked their competitive spirits. Atlantean Spider, calling out, hey, fish sticks. You picked the wrong underwater beings to mess with. Ricky, Emma, and Cleo looked up, relief flooding over their faces as they recognized their would-be saviors. Cleo Sartori, wheezing, you're here to help. We could really use it. Emma Gilbert, determinedly, just give us a moment, we can fight too. Ricky Chadwick, braving through the stench, no one should be bullied in their own home. The villains turned to the newcomers, their expressions a mix of surprise and annoyance. Man Ray, scoffing, oh look, it's the Atlantean Spider and his sea sponge sidekick. What do you think you can do? The Dirty Bubble, laughing, yeah. You can't take us all on. Atlantean Spider, glowing with confidence, watch us. With that, Atlantean Spider unleashed his hydrokinesis powers, directing a powerful jet of water from his hands that sent the Dirty Bubble tumbling backward. Spider Bob, swinging into action, and all help too. As he performed a series of acrobatic flips, Spider Bob shot webbing from his wrists, ensnaring Jumbo Shrimp in sticky strands. The shrimp struggled, but the webbing held firm. Jumbo Shrimp, frantically, hey, let me go. Man Ray eyed Atlantean Spider warily, his bravado shaking. Man Ray, snarling, you think you can fight me in my domain? Atlantean Spider, calmly assessing the situation, you underestimate the power of the ocean, and the friends it holds. Ricky, Emma, and Cleo, gaining their composure from the recent help, joined in the fray. With newfound determination and teamwork churning within them, the three mermaids began to engage their attackers. Ricky summoned a surge of water to create a wave that pushed Man Ray back, while Emma used her innate water powers to trap the Dirty Bubble in a whirlpool. Cleo, propelled by her own abilities, darted in and out, distracting the villains with swift movements. Atlantean Spider, admiringly, nice moves, ladies. Spider Bob, cheerfully, yeah. We're a team now. As their opponents began to falter, Atlantean Spider seized the opportunity. He swam towards Man Ray, relying on his superhuman strength. With a swift move, he tackled Man Ray, sending him crashing into a coral reef with a thud. Man Ray, groaning, I didn't sign up for this. The Dirty Bubble, feeling the weight of defeat, made an attempt to escape, but Emma and Ricky worked in unison to corner him. Cleo tapped into her telepathy with nearby marine life, summoning a group of small fish to swarm and distract him. Spider Bob, shouting with excitement, almost there. Just a little bit more. With one last push, the trio of mermaids combined their powers into a concentrated blast of water, forcing the villains to retreat, fleeing in a cloud of bubbles and abandon. Atlantean Spider and Spider Bob surfaced, joining the mermaids in celebration. Cleo Sartori, catching her breath, you guys were amazing. Thank you so much for your help. Emma Gilbert, smiling, we couldn't have done it without you. Atlantean Spider, grinning, it was a team effort. We're all friends fighting for a common cause. Ricky Chadwick, curiously, so, who are you two? I've never seen anyone quite like you. Spider Bob, beaming, I'm Spider Bob, and this is my mentor, Atlantean Spider. We're here with the mission to protect both the land and the ocean. Atlantean Spider, nodding, and it's great to meet fellow heroes. Your courage is commendable. The three mermaids exchanged excited glances, realizing both the potential of partnership and the strength in their shared passions. Cleo Sartori, enthusiastic, maybe we could team up more often. There's strength in numbers, after all. Emma Gilbert, for her to realize something, oh no. We have to go back. I guess our mom's supposed to be worried about us. Ricky Chadwick, it certainly seemed with a return back to the surface. Atlantean Spider, wait, what do you mean returning back to the surface? Are you guys not an actual mermaids? Emma Gilbert, well you see we're technically are mermaids but however it's kind of like our superpowers for us to breathe underwater. Spider Bob, okay that does make a lot of sense. Cleo Sartori, yeah, I guess I might see each other sometime sooner. As H2O, Mermaid begins swimming to the surface as they make it to land transform back to human forms. As the three mermaids reached the surface, Atlantean Spider and Spider Bob watched in awe as their once dazzling tails shimmered and transformed into legs. Ricky, Emma, and Cleo emerged from the water, their hair glistening in the sunlight. They shook off the remnants of the sea, leaving trails of water in their wake. Atlantean Spider, smiling, so this is the land version of you. You all look amazing. Ricky Chadwick, giggling, thanks. It's nice to finally kick off the fins for a while. Spider Bob, tilting his head, do you ever miss swimming? Emma Gilbert, playfully, of course. But we enjoy our time on land too. The best of both worlds, right? Cleo Sartori, nodding, plus, there are times when we need to be on land to protect it. It's all about balance. Atlantean Spider, thoughtfully, I could get used to this. The ocean is beautiful, but there's a whole world up here I haven't experienced yet. Spider Bob, eyes sparkling, you should definitely visit. There are all sorts of things like ice cream and jellyfish fields. Ricky smiled, spreading her arms wide as if to embrace the horizon. Ricky Chadwick, well, you're welcome to join us anytime. Just remember to bring your hero gear. Emma leaned in with a twinkle in her eyes. Emma Gilbert, and be ready for a beach party. We throw the best ones. Atlantean Spider, laughing, I'll add that to my calendar. Teaming up with you all makes the adventure even more exciting. As the sun began to dip further towards the horizon, painting the sky with brilliant colors, Cleo turned serious for a moment. Cleo Sartori, earnestly, but we need to stay vigilant, too. Being heroes means there are always challenges ahead. We can't let our guard down. Atlantean Spider, nodding, you're right. Injustice doesn't take a break just because we're having fun. Ricky pointed towards the golden sky. Ricky Chadwick, together, we'll make sure the oceans and the land are safe, for everyone who calls it home. Spider Bob, enthusiastically, yes. We have the power of teamwork. As they shared a moment of camaraderie, the first stars began to twinkle above them. The group felt a newfound sense of purpose forming, solidifying their bond as heroes. Atlantean Spider, glancing back at the ocean, I have to admit, I've always felt a bit out of place with my powers, like I didn't belong anywhere. Emma looked at him and smiled warmly. Emma Gilbert, softly, you belong to both worlds now, Atlantean Spider. You embrace the ocean but can also stand tall on land. That's a gift. Spider Bob, with a big grin, yeah. And besides, we're a team. Friends protect each other, right? Cleo nodded, her face lighting up with determination. Cleo Sartori, assertively, absolutely. Friends unite for a cause, and together, we're stronger. With plans forming to continue working together, the group spent the remainder of the evening sharing stories about their underwater adventures and land escapades. Laughter filled the air as they imagined future battles they would face side by side. As the night crept in, Atlantean Spider and Spider Bob prepared to take their leave. Atlantean Spider, waving, we'll see you soon. I can't wait for our next adventure together. Ricky Chadwick, cheerfully, same here. Keep practicing those powers. We'll be back. Spider Bob, excitedly, be-tastic. Until we meet again. With a final wave, Atlantean Spider and Spider Bob made their way back into the